that knowledge base. How can you legitimately call yourself the professional if you're not feeding your knowledge base? If you're not growing your knowledge base, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But guys, Inman Connect San Diego is next week, and there's still the ability to get tickets. We actually have at Legacy 2 tickets available right now. I don't know if you don't have the money to go, talk to us. Maybe there's something we can do to help you get in there. We want everybody to have the opportunity. I know Colby Lampman and Cassie have the ability in Idaho too, with some tickets available for you to go. Tony didn't buy one yet, so he's not going. He got out, but if he would have bought one, we would have had Tony's ticket available too. And you can get them for a good deal, $750. Those are $1,300 tickets if you buy them direct. So you're getting them for nearly half off. And it's to me, I would put it up there as the number one largest, maybe not largest, but one of the biggest real estate conferences of the year. They do one in New York. They do one in the West Coast, usually Vegas. This time they decided not Vegas. We're going to go to San Diego instead. But yeah, definitely go. Wes Hensley, I reached out to this morning. I said, Wes, why aren't you going to Inman with us? And he said, what's that? And I'm like, I reached out to Sierra and I go, what the heck? How does Wes not know about Inman? Are we not doing a good job telling everybody? I am so sorry, Wes. I'm sorry, man.
No worries.
I don't know how I didn't tell you about it. But if you can go, we got a ticket for you, man. We want you there.
Man, I would, but I got mother-in-law's in really bad shape, so
Yeah.
I got to be close.
Got it. No worries. Those are important things. Sounds like Tony.
Next year.
Yeah, well, if we don't use these tickets, we can freeze them and use them for another event. They allow us to do that. So that's why we're not giving the tickets back, because the one in New York would be the awesome one to go. That's a big deal. That's pretty cool. But
When's that one?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Probably November-ish, December, January, maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's usually towards the first part of the year, I believe. So they have one in the middle of the year, one in the first part of the year. But guys, feeding your brain, your knowledge base, you're calling yourself this professional. If you're not, so Inman News is the largest news source for real estate agents, the real estate news source there is. It's the largest news source. And they put on these conferences 2 times a year. So if you're not in the know about what's going on in your industry, how can you call yourself the expert? You've got to be in the know, which means you need to be consistently training every day. You need to be consistently going to at least twice a year to go into some sort of real estate conference to hear about what's going on. They always set up these really amazing vendor areas where you can just go around and learn all the newest technology, the newest AI, the newest this, the newest that, all the newest things that are coming to our industry soon. A lot of it's beta tested stuff where you can get in the beta testing floor and test new products. That's what these big conferences do. I've been to them every year for the past 10 years, 12 years, probably more like 12 to 13 years, I would say. The first 2 or 3 years of my career, I didn't go. I was new. But then after that, my team leader at the time, Kevin Blaine, said, hey, it's going to be the best spent time. I promise you. He said, if you don't like it and you tell me this was the worst thing, I will reimburse you. That's what he told me. I'm like, all right, that sounds like it's a win-win. I'm gonna go. So I paid for it. I went, and yeah, I can't take your money back. That was really good. It was awesome. So, all right, guys. I like to start out as a mastermind. One is I got some pretty cool things to share with you. I'm gonna talk about, the golden nugget in real estate. Like the get rich quick scheme. I say that it's not a get rich quick scheme, but I lie to you about that. It is. I'm not a get rich quick. That's the wrong word. You can get into production fast. Specific key things in today's market. And I'm not saying that you have to sit there and make a ton of phone calls. No, that's old school stuff. Can you do that? Well, does it work? Yes. If you're good at on the phone and you're good at talking to people and your people, it's a great nurture tool, but it is not required. It's not required. Not in today's market. This is a different world we're living in. 2025 is here. It's a totally different world. There's different ways to do it, and there's ways to do it fast. There's ways to do it, but there are some specific key things that you do have to do that we're going to talk about in a minute. But first, you guys all have good stuff to get the conversations going. What is it you want to cover today? It's the most important thing. What's happened this last week that you're like, hey, I came across this. What do you think of this? I don't, you can even tell me a product. We can look up and research products right now, talk about products. Someone in this call may have talked about something, but um, there's got to be something you're dealing with that's happened that maybe you need a little help with. What do you got? I got a lot of content, guys. Tons of content. I got content for anything you probably ever dealt with in real estate, and I can literally share it right here inside of this chat, or I can email it to you. What is it you need in your business? What is it you need? What's the secret thing you're hiding that you need? Or what's the secret thing you found that you want to share? Because this is a safe place. We don't hold our cards close. We want everyone to know we got three aces in the pocket because you know what? Someone in here is going to help you turn those three aces in the pocket into the winning game. So
Yeah,
let's share.
I was recently listening to the MREA podcast, Real
Mm.
Estate Millionaire, and the last episode didn't actually have a real estate agent on there, but it had a professor of AI on there. Apparently, he's got some class or whatever, but he was saying that you can train Chat GPT, like you can set up with prompts. And I've never used Chat GPT really. I use Copilot more, but he said that he encourages and made me think of you using it to run scenarios. Act as if you're a buying client and run me through, 15 top questions you would have. And you can actually role play. So if you're embarrassed to role play with a real person that's going to judge you or whatever, you can use Chat GPT for that. I thought that was kind of interesting.
So good. Yeah. No, ChatGPT is an excellent role play partner. And we had this talk last week, and I talked about the importance of every agent should be doing some sort of, didn't we talk about that, Paul? We totally did. You should be having some sort of, first thing in the morning, we went over your schedule, went over I even showed you my calendar and how that needs to be in there is some sort of role playing and practice. Get your mindset right, get you ready to go so you're ready to make your calls or do your social media or door knocking or whatever it is. But hey, you don't have anybody. Okay, it's time blocked in your calendar. So you still got to do it. It's the job. It's the consistency that wins the game, right? You're going to find yourself bored in real estate before you find yourself making good money. You're going to be so bored with the consistent tasks you have to do. You're going to be so bored with it that you're going to want to quit. But the problem is that if you quit, you're starting to see some things happening. If you quit, you're going to lose out. I've coached so many agents that have this problem, guys, where I'm coaching them and they're like, yeah, no, I got this, I got that. Great calls this week. It was fun. I had all these calls and, this SOI said they do want to buy, blah, 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 blah. But then that one client goes cold and they can't get a hold of them. And it's an SOI and they're like, I can't even get a hold of my own SOI. And so then they just lose their mojo. You've got to stick to the task, guys. You really do, because you're going to get bored doing it, and then you're going to start seeing some crazy success. But scripts and role play is huge. Using ChatGPT to do it is easy. It's a great script partner. They'll sit there and just, like you just literally talk to it like normal and say, hey, you are a buyer of a house, and I am a seller, and I am a listing agent. You have three other appointments to meet with three other agents, and I am trying to win the part. Be my script partner and put me through the ringer. I don't know. So I just made it up. Do whatever you want and see what it says, see what it does. And it's gonna start talking to you back and forth, and you can have a full conversation with it. Thanks for sharing that, Paul. That's awesome. What else? Who else is running into something this week? I see we have some new people on here. Adriana, thanks for being here. So excited you're with us. I know Bill
Thank you. Thank you.
you a while back, and we were excited to have those conversations. The next thing you know it, I go into the office and you're in there signing
I'm
up.
there.
Not
I
only came
know.
over, but
Super
you brought
excited.
not only came over, but you brought your whole dang team. So I'm like,
I
sweet
did.
shit. So happy.
I know. We're all super excited. It was
Yeah.
a great move. Thank you.
You just wait because Legacy's going to do some really powerful things for you guys here shortly. They're going to start promoting you all over social media.
Yay.
They've already seen some of the content, so
Yeah.
we got a sneak preview of it. So yeah,
Love it. I love it.
awesome. All right, nothing you guys want to cover? No situations. Usually you guys are talkative and you have all these situations you want to go over. By the way, you always see these books behind me. So that blue book is the red book. But the red book that Paul's talking about is actually right here. Look at that. The Inner Agent Red Book. Excellent books right here, guys. This is Brian Heisenhower's book. It's called The High Performing Real Estate Team. Excellent book. This is Tony Giordano. This is The Social Agent 2.0. It's the second version. And then I have some great ones like this one is on overcoming the dark side of leadership. If you're choosing to be a leader, you're choosing to lead a team, you want to understand there's some major dark sides. We had our team meeting this morning with my two partners, Tony Larson and Billy Garcia, and we talked about, you know, some of the downfalls in some teams in our industries that are just struggling. And why are they struggling? Well, there's a lot of monotone going on. And one is we're not monotone. We're excited. We're always having fun. We're yelling, we're clapping, we're celebrating successes, talking about failures, working through problems. And every day of the week, our team has a chance to be involved in something. Huddles on Monday. Tuesday is, we don't really have anything scheduled. Wednesday, we got this. Thursday is our in-person meeting. Friday, we're always chatting through our chat too. So I don't have anything specifically on Friday either, but at least 3 of the 5 days a week, our team's together doing something. There's a couple of them on this call right now, several of them. It's just, you gotta, like, there's a dark side that it's very difficult, and that's a great book. The Family Driven Faith, great book. I'm a Christian. I love the Lord, and that's very important. There's 2 great books down there. Bodhi Bachman. If you don't know who Bodhi Bachman is, he's a great Christian author. There's some really great books on that. So you've got to be reading every day, guys. Consistently feed your knowledge base. That's important. That's a big part of it. Today I'm going to give you some things that you can do to get into production fast. Now we're going to talk about this being the golden nugget. When you think about, I need to get into production fast, you're thinking there's some sort of product I'm going to give you, right? Let's just talk about pyramid schemes. Seriously, I've been sucked into them in my lifetime. Never again, ever. Don't waste your money. The only people that make money are the ones on the top, and it's typically short-lived. There's some Amway people I know that are on the top of the pyramid in Amway, and they still make a really good living off of Amway. They've probably been doing it for 50 years. And they're the president of the area. That's the guy that makes the most money. Some more people jumping in. The president of those areas, right? The ones that are like at the top of the pyramid. There is no golden nugget that I can give you that you're going to be like, I'm going to take that product and I'm going to sell a ton of real estate. Sorry. But there are some specific tasks you could be doing that get you in production very, very, very fast. We're talking like within a month, 2 months, you got something under contract. And I'm going to tell you the secret sauce to it, okay? You ready? Number 1 is leads. You all want leads. You want them. You got to get them. You have all these leads out there though, and you have lead sources. You have this, you have that. You have some you can buy. You have some you don't buy. You have open houses for sale by owner. You got leads everywhere. Are you using those opportunities every day of your life, every day of your business life, of your 5-day business week to go after those leads? You want leads. Okay, that's number 1. Now, with the leads, you have new business, you have your database business, and you have your follow-ups. Okay, 3 things. New business, database business, and follow-ups. You've got all these potential right there. And are you segregating them and putting them daily? Are you working them in that database every day? And are you feeding it every day? Now that's number 1. Number 2 is consistency. Being consistent is important. Now, what I said a minute ago is an important, true statement that you will get bored doing this job right before it starts to turn into a high producing, successful real estate business. I talked about with Jennifer Brown this morning on our team, and she was talking about a recent a buyer she went to go show some houses to, and she's out showing houses, and she brings her, I think it was a boyfriend or something like that, and he's like, kind of not a very nice man, and she's very nice, and she's looking, she's very interested in buying it, and eventually he speaks up and tells Karen, I can't wait for agents to go away. On that day, I'm just going to get drunk. That's what he told her. And she said, what? Go away? What? And why would we go away? Guys, there's a perception going on in the real estate industry right now. And it could have to do with all the crazy, horrible things that happened last year before last, with the lawsuit. And somebody in Kansas City, Missouri area, I don't know if it had to do with the contracts or what it had to do with. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I heard it was like had to do with the contracts weren't written, exactly clear enough. Maybe it wasn't being explained correctly, but those lawsuits happened and the whole industry changed for us. But the bad part about it that happened because of that was the persona or the kind of what people think of us, real estate professionals. We're ultimately not in this to get rich and make a ton of money. If you're into this, you're in the wrong industry. We're into this to serve people and help people, and that's always been the realtor's thing. But of course, we want to make money too. We want to pay for and support our family. Everybody wants to make money. The coolest part about real estate is like selling cars. Are you going to say you're going to get rid of car salesmen? Are you going to say you're going to get rid of insurance salesmen? Are you going to get rid of all those people? Are those people going to go away? We're not going away just like they're not going away. And we're not controlled by our contracts. Our contracts are created by the states, and we just abide by the rules. That's it. Now, if all these realtors get sued because of that, honestly, it falls on one, the contracts, and did the agent explain it correctly? The contracts, though, are what we abide by. The attorneys in the states create the contracts. So we're just doing what we're told. We're running a business, and as hard as we work on it every day is what we're going to get out of it. If you quit and you don't stick to consistency, you won't get anything out of it. If your phone rings and it's a Zillow lead and you don't answer it, that's not the Zillow lead's fault or the brokerage that gave you the lead, if they gave you the lead, or, if you're paying for it, you're going to answer it. But the brokerage is paying for it and you're not answering it? Someone's spending money on that lead. You should be spending on the lead, but you're not. If you're getting it from the brokerage and that phone rings and you don't answer it, shame on you. Somebody paid for that lead. Answer the phone. Convert the lead. That's what you asked for, right? Leads. And a lot of the brokerages, the two we're part of, do pay for leads. It's an option in the brokerage. You need to talk to your leaders, find out how to get into the leads program, okay? Because both of your brokerages have that option. Leads program. You want more leads. Consistency. You've got to consistently follow up. That phone rings, it's a Zillow lead, you better answer it. That phone rings, it's a potential client, or you get an alert that somebody's looking on your website and you get all their contact information. By golly, you better call them. And you better call them for the 10 days straight. Even Dave Ramsey, they have a 14-day rule. You must call them within a certain amount of times within 14 days. That's their rule. I've been a Dave Ramsey preferred ELP, also now known as Ramsey Preferred, for many years. I love my relationship with Dave Ramsey. But when I went through the ELP program in the beginning, that was one of the rules, that we had to call a certain amount of time before we can say they're dead, because the consistency. You want to sell fast, you got to be consistent. Open houses. So many people, agents, don't want to do open houses. Why not?
Yes, Mama, I told her that you needed
You're not
they needed to be
muted.
done by noon, period.
Mute yourself. Whoever's talking, I can hear you. Mute. There you go. All right. So just remember, like, that consistency is so crazy key important. And this job will bore you to where you don't want to do it. You don't want to answer the phone. You don't want to do an open house. You don't want to door knock, because I didn't get anyone the last time I door knocked. Because I didn't get anyone in my last open house. So I'm not gonna, sorry. I'm not gonna do another open house again. Never had any success in it. And then you go and do an open house and you sell somebody a house. Times change. Just because it didn't work 5 years ago doesn't mean it's not going to work now. Because specifically, in those of you in Idaho, there's a lot of people still coming from out of state. And if you owned a boutique shop downtown and you worked your butt off to open up that boutique shop and no one showed up today, does that mean you're not going to open the doors tomorrow? No, you're paying rent, you're paying this, you're paying those utilities for that boutique. You bought all this inventory, you put it in your boutique store, and just because no one showed up today or bought anything off your shelves today, you're still going to open the doors tomorrow. And you're going to do it the next day and the next day and the next day until you sell stuff. And then you're going to find out new ways and new marketing ways to do it, or you close your doors. One of the two things are going to have to happen. You either find new ways to make it work or you close your doors. And I am so sad when I hear agents closing their doors because it just didn't work. When I know it was the consistency. One, it was leads. Did you have enough leads? Number two, were you consistent in calling them? I nailed that home. Okay. I hope you got that. Hope you got my point. All right, so we talked a minute ago. So I'm going to talk about probably 6 or 7 steps to get you in production fast. 6 or 7 really good steps to get you in production fast. And I'm loving that Faith Makita just jumped in. Thanks, Faith, for jumping in. You just missed a whole amazing thing I just went over. Oh my gosh, you'll have to ask someone on this call. You missed it. I love you, Faith. Thanks for showing up today. Love you, girl. You're killing it. So I'm going to talk about the 7 things, and speak up and talk if you have anything. Any of you speak up and talk if you have any feedback on this. Number 1, you're being the best version of yourself today and every day of this week. Consistently train and build your mind up. Be the expert in your industry. How should anyone trust you if you're not the expert? You must train that mind every single day. You've got to do some sort of new module. I don't care if it's YouTube videos. Do it every day. It better be on your calendar, and you better be doing it. How can you become the expert if you're not doing it? New ways of doing things. There's always new ways of doing things. This is the most consistently changing business industry in the industry, in all businesses. It changes constantly. I've been through, I don't know how many swings in my 20 years of being in real estate. All right, 20 years of consistent movement. You've got to constantly change with the tides. There's a great book by Gary Keller called The Shift. Highly suggest it. I'm not a Keller Williams agent, no, but I suggest the book. It's a great book, and it's called Shift. There's also a module series on the ICC, Brian Eisenhower's module series called Shift, or called, isn't it Shift? No, it's called Pivot. It's called Pivot. We constantly pivot and change. So that's why it's so important to constantly feed your mindset. Also, your body. Be a healthy person. The best person that you've met, right? You need to meet yourself in person every day and make sure you're choosing to be the healthy person and feeding that mindset. It's so important to the rest that's going to follow after that. The next one I'm going to talk about is that you got to be seen. In today's industry, in 2025, you must be seen. And I know you don't want to get crazy social, I get it, but there is no such thing as a secret agent, guys. If you expect to be a successful agent, you must be seen. You can't be a secret agent. You got to be out there so everyone sees what's going on. What are the ways we can be seen today? Let's talk that out real quick. Someone speak up. What are ways that you can be seen today?
I would definitely say social media is a huge way of getting your name out there, especially if you're starting out. Just kind of letting everyone know, simply just sharing a story or sharing a post about a listing that you're doing. I think that's a great way to start being seen.
Sure, yeah. Social media is huge. Sharing posts are good, but it's not organic. It's only people that see it are typically the people that have already seen it. Just know that if they're your friends and shared friends. Organic, taking it and using it. I'm going to get into that right now. Stealing it. Someone across the nation that's doing something big, you can't just go out and take a picture with giving keys to your client, showing them this cool new house, and expect. That's old school stuff, guys. That's old school. If you're that person, I'm sorry, you're doing an old school thing. Am I saying don't do it? No, you can still do that. But guess what? There's better ways to do it. You need to tell stories. People want to work with people they like. They don't want to work with just people that are showing giving keys to somebody or showing a new listing or, hey, let me walk you through my new listing. Guys, you got to be seen and you've got to tell stories. So instead of giving the keys to somebody, why don't you tell the story on social media about how you met this person and how it worked through the process to get them to the finish line? Now I'm getting more in depth and I'm grabbing people's emotions on social media and all and whatever your blog post you do, because that's a huge thing. Blog posts are big and not enough people do them. I've got a blog on my website. I'm constantly posting new content on there. You've got to consistently be getting content out there to get seen. But tell stories on social media. Talk about how that deal went. Get real. And don't, I know you're afraid to put your face on there. Don't be afraid. Some of you are, some of you are not. You got to get your face on there. Sometimes it's just a picture, and maybe you just type out a little thing about it, or you do a voiceover about the story on how I met this person, how important it was for them to own. They never thought they would ever be able to own a home in their life. How many other buyers out there or potential people do you know in your SOI that are sitting in that same boat right now? They've never owned a home. They've been renting. And they didn't think they would ever get a chance to own a home. And you just told a story on social media about how you helped somebody reach the American dream of owning their first home. And this is what it meant to them. You don't have to say names of who they are. If they're okay with it, though, and you can show them giving their key, but while you're giving the key, you're actually talking about it, voice over the story about how you got to that finish line. It's so cool. Instead of just showing a house, something like that, you must tell stories, something that's going to relate to people. Put yourself in the buyer's shoes. Stop thinking like a realtor. Start thinking like a buyer or a seller. What are they feeling? What are they going through? Who's your ideal client right now? Who's your ideal client and how am I going to get to them? What do they need? What are their needs? Got to go through a needs analysis, we call it, and find out what the needs are of that ideal client. And then get social with it. Thanks, Matt. That's awesome. Steal ideas from other agents. I talked about that a minute ago. In this day and age, you can see agents all over the United States, from YouTube to Facebook to Instagram to TikTok to, all these other different ones. There's so many different ones out there, new ones coming out all the time. And you can see what other agents are doing. You can literally go to the search bar and search what top agents are doing across the nation and steal their ideas. Get social every day, get in front of people every day, be seen every day. All right. Big one. Okay. That's a big one to sell quick because you're going to see all kinds of stuff starting to happen when all of a sudden you're being real and you're not just being a secret agent. You're not hiding like these other ones are doing, or you're not just showing the keys and you're not just doing that stuff. Guys, show yourself door knocking neighborhoods. Show how important it is. Find someone in the neighborhood and say, hey, would you mind if I do a quick little social? You seem really fun. We're having a great conversation. Can I do a quick social media post with you? And pick some random person in the neighborhood. Who does that? Not enough people. I would say I don't know one. That while they're door knocking, they're trying to specifically find someone they can hit it off with so they can get them to help them with their next social media post. Let me tell you the story about your home ownership process. How did it work for you? What was it like? Would you mind sharing that with me? And interview them and post on social media. More presence for you. You're being seen more. Focus on growth in your database. That's number 2. We talked about leads being important in the beginning, right? We talked about being seen is important right now in today's day and age, 2025. The next one is growing your database. So you continually have value. You constantly grow and nurture that database. What is your database? It's your CRM. It could be a filing cabinet full of names, guys. Doesn't matter. But we've got to systematically grow it every day. And how are we systematically growing it? Or are we just dealing with return business? Just by the way, I've been in this business for 20 years, and that faucet of return business occasionally slows down. Sometimes it stops for, a month. But again, I'm a coach now. I own a brokerage in California. I have 2 real estate teams, so I'm not selling like I used to. I used to sell 80 to 90 homes a year consistently every single year from 2020, 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then 18, I became the general manager. 19, I became the general manager of Keller Williams. 2020, I opened my own brokerage, but I was consistently selling 80-ish homes a year. And a lot of it was return business. And there was a lot of times where it slowed down. So what I had to do was consistently nurture that database to turn it back on, open up the water source and let it start flowing more. That's a big deal. You've got to feed it and grow it. In today's business in 2025, you must grow it every day. Consistently adding new names to it and growing it every day. Yeah, all week. Yeah, tell me the best deal you've seen all week. That's something you could do. What's the best deal that you've seen all week? A month or a weekly newsletter. So we're growing this database. We're feeding new people. We're adding new people to our database. By the way, your CRMs, I'm sorry, your social media page, Facebook, Instagram, they're CRMs, guys. And we're adding new names to them constantly. We're adding new people to our audience. I call it your production studio, your social media page. Every one of you has a production studio. Every single individual person on this call is a production studio. And your production studio is you talking about your personal life and what you're dealing with. You're not just going out there showing a post of a house. No, you must show your people why they should choose you and call you over the next realtor they have, because everybody knows a realtor. Is that realtor not social, their other friend, or is you the most social? Are they seeing you? If they're seeing you constantly, there's no doubt in their mind you're the number one realtor. No doubt. So you're feeding your database, you're adding new names to it, you're adding new names to your social media, and now we're going to systematically grow it. And now we're going to systematically nurture it. Now we're going to systematically post to it. Like I said, you don't have to dial every day. You don't have to get on the phone and dial anymore. That's an old school way of doing things. Although it's still successful for a lot of people, there's so many faster ways to do it. I can reach 100, 200, 300 people a day easily with my social media page. I've built my business. A majority of my closings, I can contribute to them seeing me on social media, to something that I did on social media. It wasn't that I called them. Didn't happen. I would dial, definitely had a number of dials a day, 5 to 10, whatever it might have been, usually consistently with 5 or more, but I always tried to break through the goal bit. But my most important thing was, how many people can I reach out to today on social media? Can I reach out today using different platforms? How many people can I set up email drip campaigns to go out to? I would always be giving out monthly newsletter on your on your CRM, monthly newsletter, or a weekly newsletter. Now it needs to be an impactful one or they're going to unsubscribe. So it needs to be specific and impactful and quick and out. It's not flooding them with a big old long thing. How many emails do you get from different, whether new construction or other brokerages or other people reaching out to you, and it's long and you just delete it because you don't want to read it? No, video's big. I use loom.com. Some people use BombBomb. You get little gifts, you throw it in there. You can even hold up signs that say, the hottest listing on the market, check it out. And then it gives you a quick little gift where it just flashes you holding that up saying, here's the newest, hottest one on the market. Look for the hottest deal on the market and send it in an email to everybody. That should be in your daily plan, that you're doing that every day. You're setting those up to go out every day. That should be a thing you should be working on every day in 2025. Identify and reward your MVPs. Who are your MVPs? They're typically your biggest fans. So the ones that one contractor that calls you all the time, or handyman. How often do you take your handyman out for coffee? How often do you take your contractor or your home inspector or your plumber? How often do you take them out for coffee or lunch or nurture that relationship? Do you want to receive consistent leads from them? Because, by the way, they're in houses all the time, every day. Plumbers, contractors, handymen. Are you nurturing those biggest fans every day? Are you reaching out to a number of them and asking them for coffee? Are you reaching out with a number of them and just checking in and seeing how they're doing? Are they in your database? That's number 3. You got to get to your biggest fans every day and check in with them. See how they're doing. See what's up with them. Make sure they know that you're the number one realtor in the area and they better be reaching out to you. I'm not saying you say I'm the number one realtor in the area, but by your words, you're portraying that you are, and they just know it. Seriously, simple way to do it. At minimum every 6 months, you could be taking people out to dinner, lunch. How about this? What if you planned a little event? You pick a park and you're going to invite all your biggest fans to it. Could be 20 people, could be 40 people, could be 10 people. It's your choice. All right, you can go to even Caldwell. You can go to the Caldwell side of the park over here on a Tuesday, and it's dead, and you can invite a bunch of people to come, or a Saturday. But guess what you do? You first choose to go after the ones you know will show up. If you just go to the ones that you don't think will show up, and you ask them, you're going to get a bunch of, oh, I'm so busy doing this or doing that. But if you say, hey, I got Jeff, Joe, Jim, George, they're all committed to come. We're going to have a little get together. It's down here at the park. Basically, I'm just going to celebrate you. I'm going to barbecue you because I appreciate you. You've given me so many referrals. You've been so good to me. Or a lot of movie theaters, you can rent out the movie theater. It used to cost like $125, and you can rent the whole movie theater, and you play old movies. But it's fun. We've done this so many times. It was so much fun. So many times we've done this. And we would rent the movie theater for about $125. It's an old movie we'd watch. They don't let you watch the newest ones, not for that price. But we would get on like a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night when they're slow, and you can invite a bunch of your biggest fans and take them to the movies. We used to get 40, 50, 60 people show up to these movie theaters. We'd fill up a whole movie theater with a bunch of our biggest fans, and they would consistently send us business. Haven't done it in a long time, but hey, I think I don't want to do that again. There's so many different things you can do. On my list, I said take them out to dinner, do a barbecue, invite them to your house, that's what I said. But the movie theater just came to mind because that was a huge one we used to do all the time. That's what I got for you guys today. You tell me, what's the biggest things that you guys should be working on? Or think about it. Type it in the group chat right now. What's your biggest items that you can take away from this and do it on a daily basis that's going to bring you things quicker? Or sell by owners expired. We didn't even get into that. It's so important. There's so many different things that you can be working on every day to get yourself quicker. But you can't be a secret agent in 2025. You got to be consistent, and you got to get out there. It's very important. Any questions? Any takeaways? Anything you guys want to cover? Someone unmuted.
That was me. I like your ideas.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Adriana. Thank you. All right, guys, that's what I got for you today. Just know it's not a difficult job. It is hard. It's not digging a trench, but it takes consistency, and it takes doing it every day, and it takes thinking outside the box. Don't copy what others are doing that's boring. Copy what others are doing that's exciting. One of my old coaching clients posted a picture of him wearing this ugly shirt and said, hey, I'm at this open house over here, and yes, my wife dressed me today. And then he stopped the recording. He had so much laughing faces feedbacks from that one post. If you think people aren't looking at your posts, think again. All your people are. That was a good one. Steal it. Unless you're in Southern California, because that's where he's at. Go get it, guys. It's not going to come to you. Have fun doing it, because this is a fun job, but it takes consistency. Have fun. We'll have a good one. Let me know if you need anything. Let me know if you need anything. See ya.
Thank you.
Thank
Welcome.
you, Shawn.
Very
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.